G'day everyone, and welcome to the start of another video. In this video we do a little bit more free camping and we make our way to Karatha. And whilst at Karatha we go out to Dampier. We say hello to the red dog out there. If you haven't seen the movie, that one's well worth watching. And also we go out to Hearson's Cove, and a very pretty beach out there, probably the main beach for Karatha I would think, but not real sure on that. And whilst there we then go on to Onslow, and a bit of free camping on our way to Onslow. A lot of improvements done at Onslow, and then from Onslow we start to make our way towards Exmouth. And whilst in Exmouth we set ourselves up in the Overflow Caravan Park once we've had 2 nights in the RAC Caravan Park. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm Mick and this is Sally. Together we've been caravanning Australia since the 1980s, and more recently we started to put the videos together just to show you some of what we see out there. There's a lot to see in Australia, and we hope you enjoy what we have here to show you. Joining us on the big lap with their own van are our good friends Michael and Janice. You can follow us on our trips via the following social media platforms. With our time in the Karijini National Park now at an end, we leave the Yannarie Rest Area and make our way towards a parking bay free camp as we head up towards Port Hedland. If you want to have a look at that Karijini video, that's in the video leading up to this one. As we made our way along the road today, it was amazing how many trucks, mining trucks, freight trucks and you name it. There was just so many on the road today. It was an easy day's drive today, and it wasn't long, and we were in through that parking bay and heading out the back to see where we can find a camp for the night. G'day everyone, and we've made it to our stop for the night, and it's only a single night, and this one's called Behind the Hill at the Truck Bay. Here for one night, on again tomorrow. It was a reasonable sized parking area, this one out the back, and when we first got there we were the only ones there, but later on in the afternoon there was a few other campers that arrived and were going to share the spot with us tonight. And as that night slowly eased its way in, the sunset that we had was absolutely magic. Our destination for tonight was going to be Karratha, and we had been told in Karijini National Park that the road from the national park straight up to Karratha was quite horrendous with corrugation, so we elected to go the way we did, and that took us nearly back up to Port Hedland. With over 300 kilometres to be travelled during the day today, we took our time, we weren't in a hurry, and we pulled into the parking bay here for a bit of a rest, stretch the legs, and just to wander around and have a bit of a chat. As we said, there's no hurry, so time was on our side and we made the most of it. As we continued to make our way south, the road became very flat, open grassy country like we're in now, and it sort of reminded us of Hay Plain over in New South Wales. We did a right hand turn here in Roebourne, and we made our way out to Cossack and Point Sampson and Wickham, and we were going to have a quick look there. When we arrived at Cossack, the pretty blue water that surrounds the area, and with the green mangroves, it's a picture to behold. The town of Cossack is the birthplace of the Western Australian pearling industry and was a home of the colony's pearling fleet up until the 1880s. The town was abandoned after the 1940s, leaving substantial stone buildings in a state of disrepair, and many of these buildings are listed on the National Trust after the town was declared a museum town. Most of the buildings have got an information board at the front of the building like this one here, and it will tell you the history behind each building. From Cossack, we moved on to Point Sampson. Point Sampson is a popular holiday location for the towns of Wickham, Karatha and Dampier, and fishing is its main industry. Between the town of Point Sampson and Roebourne is the township of Wickham, and as we did that right hand turn here we pulled over and they've got a very good display of large equipment that is used to move ore in the area. When you see someone walking alongside this equipment, it really illustrates to the bystander exactly how large the equipment was. After arriving in Karratha and setting ourselves up on private property, and that was thanks to Adrian and Kate, and we do thank them for that, we then went out to Dampier and had a look at Red Dog. Red Dog was a well-known dog up in the Pilbara, and they made this movie and named the movie Red Dog. If you get a chance to have a look at it, it's well worth watching, and the movie actually illustrates and describes the life that the dog did have. From the Red Dog Monument, we made our way down into Dampier and had a look along the foreshore here. It's now 21 years ago since Sally and I came up this way, and the thing that really stands out to us at all the towns along the Western Australian coast that we've been to so far since leaving Darwin and heading south have made vast improvements, and improvements to the better, and it's just amazing how things have grown since we were here last. I know I've mentioned it before, but isn't that blue water such a pretty sight to look at? From Dampier, we made our way out to Hearson Cove, and it's a shallow yet beautiful beach located on the Burrup Peninsula near Karratha. It's a small sandy cove with steep rugged hills. The light wasn't quite shining the right way to get the water down by the cove to be real blue, but when it is blue and it really bounces off those red rocks on the hills, it's an amazing sight to look at. With such a beautiful beach, it's very popular for swimming and lots of room for anyone to come down. Whether you're towing a caravan, you can come down there for a day. You can't camp there of course, but there are barbecues and the likes, bins, and it's a great spot for a very enjoyable day. Very calm waters on the day that we were there. It just made it for the perfect day. After thanking Adrian and Kate for their hospitality whilst in Karratha, we were on the road again, and this time making our way towards a river rest area. With the countryside forever changing today as we headed south, it made for very pleasant driving. We continued to keep our travelling days reasonably short, and with just over 160 kilometres due for the day, we were soon at our destination. G'day everyone, and we've just arrived at the Robe River Rest Area and finished setting up. We're here for one night and moving on again in the morning. The rest area is quite a large rest area, but when you go down to where the area is sealed with bitumen, it is quite uneven, and that makes it very hard to get a level van for the night. It was a bit of a surprise when the ice cream truck rolled in, but it certainly got some sales from the campers. The lady in the ice cream van was telling us that she's on her way to a mine site, and she does call into these parking areas to sell ice cream should anyone want one. On the road again the next morning, and this time we're heading for Onslow. And when we were up in this area 21 years ago, we visited Onslow and we said that we would never come back because there was just nothing there that was appealing to us at that time. Whilst making our way towards Onslow, we got behind a number of road trains, and they're big road trains up in this area. And it's one of those things you think, well, we're going to turn off very shortly, it's not worth overtaking them, but lo and behold, all of them turned the same way that we were going. And this is another thing that we found out about Onslow, that there is so much mining up there compared to what there was when we were here last time, that the growth is just incredible. G'day everyone, and we've arrived in Onslow and we're set up in the temporary overflow camping area, and we're going to have a quick look around the town this afternoon, and it'll be for one night and then we move on again tomorrow. The temporary overflow that was set up there was free of cost, but at least it gave us the opportunity to stay in Onslow for that single night, and it allowed us to go and explore the town. And here we are now, we're down at the information centre, and at that same location there's a bit of a museum that showcases some of Onslow's history in the past, as well as the immediate area around Onslow. These statues here are known as the paparazzi dogs, and it's on the foreshore here at Onslow. I'll leave a link in the video description that'll allow you to have a read should you be interested in wanting to know the history. From the paparazzi dogs we took a walk along the foreshore, and that took us between the water and the Caravan park and up to the park area here where it's got the Anzac Memorial. Reasonably sized park area, this one, offering lawns, barbecues, undercover seating and beautiful sea views. Continuing our walk along the foreshore, that brought us up to the new Caravan park that's being built at Onslow. It's actually an expansion, I believe, of the existing Caravan park. We took a quick drive out to the 4 Mile Creek picnic area and boat ramp, and that sort of follows the coastline along. You can't see the coastline all the way, but it brings you out to this channel here, and quite a popular area, this one today. Some people out fishing, but we didn't see too much caught. We enjoyed our visit to Onslow this time. Certainly a lot different to what it was, as mentioned before, when we were here on our last trip. It's got so much going for it now, and so many improvements are being done. And with so much improvement currently being constructed whilst we were there was a lot of work being done around the main street, and of course with the increased capacity and the building of the new caravan park. After a very enjoyable visit to Onslow, and if ever you get the opportunity, it's worth taking that detour off the main road and going into Onslow for a look. But we moved on and we found a nice, very large river rest area camp. From Onslow back to the intersection that we're coming up to now, which will take us back onto the main highway that will go down towards Perth. It is 80 kilometres from Onslow to this intersection here. So it's a reasonable detour, but as mentioned before, it's certainly well worth it. Not a great deal of truck movement that we've seen on the road today, and before long we were soon pulling into our rest area where we're going to spend one night. G'day everyone, and we've finished travelling for the day. It's middle of the morning, late morning, and we've arrived at Yannarie, and that's a rest area here, and here for one night, moving on in the morning. The only way to describe this rest area is it's extremely huge. There's no reason why anyone cannot find some sort of location within this rest area that would satisfy all the needs. It can be a little bit dusty at times, but very huge. The rest area does border onto a creek, and when the drone flies over here, as you see now, there's the creek to the right hand side, top corner of the screen, and then it opens out to a very huge flat area. The drone was up in the sky early afternoon, so come 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, there was a big number of caravans camping in here for the night. A number of caravans were trying to go right down into the creek, and the one here at the red arrow, he was bogged, and he was the second one we've seen bogged within the hour. And this dust storm here, as it rolled through, we were watching it and we thought, well, God blimey, we're a little bit gobsmacked. It was quite big, this one, and we had our awnings out. Had it come our way, instead of going up around the side of the van and then across the back, it would have smashed our awnings. Moving again the next morning, but travelling these short distances each day, it didn't really make the exercise of travelling every day at the moment such a big deal and a tiring thing to do. As we did when we went into Onslow, we had to leave the main highway and start to make our way towards Exmouth, and this also took us past Ballara Station. And unfortunately for us, it's one of those things when you're winging it like we are, we were unable to get into Ballara. When we arrived here at the intersection of the road that comes from Perth up to Exmouth, there was just caravan after caravan heading into Exmouth, and at one stage I think there was something like 13 or 14 caravan in a row, in a line going down the road, and we were about in the middle of the whole line. Unfortunately for the person that was leading the line, big lineup of caravans, had mechanical issues. He had a sign on his back window saying he was apologising for that, and in reality there's not much more that he could do. He did pull off into a parking area and let the crowd go by. As expected, when we arrived at Exmouth, there was a huge lineup to get into the caravan park. G'day everyone, and we're all set up in the RAC Caravan Park here at Exmouth. We were here for one night, but when we got here we were lucky enough we were able to extend that to 2. So we're going to cram in as much as what we can tomorrow and see what happens after that. Very big caravan park, this one. The staff were great, very friendly and willing to help wherever they can. It's just a pity we couldn't stay more than the 2 nights that we could. We were quite happy with the size of the site that we had. It was fairly large in reality, and any that we looked at as we walked around the park were very similar. Both mornings that we were in the caravan park, early in the morning they had the sprinklers going on the lawns to try and keep the lawns in good health. Very big camp kitchen, this one, offering the camper all the facilities that you would wish for. Even though we're here at Exmouth for a total of 4 nights, it doesn't really give us 4 days to do much because of the way the system works, but we won't show anything that we did in Exmouth in this video. We'll actually save that for the next video to come. In reality, we lost a lot of time here, arriving one day and then 2 days later moving on to the next park. G'day everyone, and we're still in Exmouth, but we're moving camp. We've left the caravan park. Unfortunately, we've got to leave that, which is pretty standard on any caravan park, by 10 AM, but we can't book in, or at least find out if we've got a booking in the overflow until 2 o'clock this afternoon. So there's quite a few of us lined up outside the overflow area at the moment and waiting for that 2 o'clock so we can try and get a booking, and at that point we'll find out what's happening. But hopefully we'll get another 2 nights and that'll give us a total of 4 nights here in Exmouth. So time will tell. If you see us in there, then you know we got in, but here's hoping. Not a great system that they have to allow you to book in. You've got to create an account and then at 2 o'clock they release the code, and with the account and the code you can then try and book a site, particularly if they were busy. They weren't too bad on this week that we were here. School holidays had finished, so it made it pretty simple to get in. The cost per night to stay here, you had flushing toilets and hot showers, but it was $60 a night, and we thought that was quite steep when it wasn't much lower than what a caravan park was. One thing we didn't expect though was an emu that came up and said hello to us during our last afternoon there. We'll end this video here, and we enjoyed our time here in Exmouth, and as mentioned before, on the next video we'll show you everything that we did whilst here in Exmouth. So until that video goes up, you take care and look after yourself.